Namaste, beautiful being. This is Belinda Pearl, and welcome to this moment in time where we allow guidance to guide us and see where we're going on our path and where our path is taking us. It feels like we're in this great adventure, which is life, and you are the hero of your story, and you've taken yourself on this journey. But along the journey, we sometimes forget that we are doing something specific. We've been seeking for something. And on this journey, there's always things that will show up that are going to help us grow in the experience. And we can taste each one. We can test each one. We can test each one. That's what they want me to say. So that we can really explore what it is about being the hero in the whole story. So I thought today I kind of give you a lay of the land, and then we can go and look in, ask for guidance, look in. It feels like I'm looking in a book, but it's looking in this, maybe it is looking in the great Akashic field. We'll bring in some Akashic records. I think that feels good too. So this idea of where are we in the sky? Mercury is retrograding. So as of today, officially, which is October 14th, Mercury turned retrograde. Yesterday he stationed. And the day seemed to go somewhat well, except I definitely have noticed leading up to Mercury retrograde that all the, not all of them, cancel that out, a lot of appliances have been acting really strange, like out of the blue. And yesterday when I taught yoga, a lady was there and she was complaining that there was at least 3 things, like electrical things and communication things and a couple things that like didn't go well on that day, like on Mercury stationing. So there's something powerful. And then today somebody texted me and said that, oh, that, nothing's going on. And then she was like, oh yeah, but actually I don't have any internet where I am. It's just like I can't get on the internet. It's so strange. So I guess I'm affected. So maybe Mercury's affecting us in some way. And Mercury, I think each time it depends where it is in your chart, what's Mercury aspecting in your chart. Maybe you feel it differently. Mercury's in Scorpio, so they say it's about this time, about our deeper wounds, what's inside of ourselves that we need to bring forward. What do we need to bring out of ourselves? What's in the back of your head? Wants to bring that out. Mercury's going to retrograde, so it's going to go back over a couple of degrees back in your chart. So the things that he's traveled over in your life, it's going to help you reflect back on that and see how you can revisit that, reassess the situation so that you can actually move out of the retrograde more enlightened. It does have some ill effects on electronics and stuff like that. It just seems to always be weird. Like this time, last time I think I flew by Mercury retrograde with no particular problems. This one's been a couple small appliances, which is actually kind of comical in its own weird little way. So we have Mercury retrograde, and then we have new moon in Libra that comes up on Friday. And so there's this doorway. I always see Libra that offers a doorway to our inner self through our partnerships, how we show up in our partnerships. Your partnerships are a reflection of you, how your relationships are. What are your partnerships teaching you? And how can you be in that place of inequality with yourself? Hoping that makes some sense there. Not the other word that I keep hearing is not being in judgment. Sometimes in partnerships, in relationships, it's always like the other. So it's a sense of separation, but maybe that sense of separation comes from within. The other couple things I want to throw in here too, which they're reminding me of, is this with the moon and with Mercury, there's all these amazing, I don't want to say crazy, amazing aspects that are happening too in astrology. And there's one particular planet that yesterday was conjunct with Venus and the moon, and this particular Plutonian planet actually, like, I'll tell you a little story. So Pluto delivers us to the invisible realm, this part of ourselves that we haven't yet visited, or we don't yet believe in because we can't see it. And then there's this other planet that kind of like is on the opposite side of Pluto in his orbit. And this particular planet too works with Pluto too in that energy, because their orbits are almost exactly the same. So it's kind of the synchronistic piece, but he awakens you to like that part that you know that exists within inside of you. But it literally, the way I interpret it, it tells you what your gifts are. So how miraculous that was, like this fortunate conjunction in the sky with Venus and the moon, illuminating this part that's really close to your heart, and maybe the places or things that you haven't actually whispered out. That's the words they want me to say. It's like, what haven't you whispered out to the universe? So let us see. Like, I have some other cards that I pulled out earlier on that I may show you, depending on how this reading goes. But just from today, I'm reading with a brand new deck. Like, I haven't read for it. I just literally pulled 2 cards from it, or 3 cards from it, just earlier on when I did my Yoga Nidra. And so I had to show them all the cards that I pulled out before the Yoga Nidra because it made so much sense. And I've been just playing with these cards just to see what the energy is. And I think it's a story that wants to be revealed. That's what I'm seeing. There's this amazing energy that wants to rise up inside of us. And we can feel it because we're feeling very passionate about the things that we're passionate about. Let me know if you are feeling passionate about the things that you're passionate about. It's about igniting your heart. It's about being in your heart centered always. We're at this time, especially at this Mercury retrograde, is really about dispelling that part of our ego that stands in the way of like allowing us to surrender into life, that keeps telling us that we know good. That's the piece that we're dispelling, that we're transmuting. Hopefully that made some sense too. So let us see. I like to close my eyes for a moment here and really find a little bit of grounded, attentive, focusedness with energy. And let's see what guidance has for us today. And again, this is like a brand new card that I haven't, actually this card I pulled out for myself. It says variance. And I think I may have mentioned higher self somewhere in what I was rambling on about, but it's like this, it feels like, and actually this is a 39 here on the card here, and I was in my Yoga Nidra, so there's a lot of things that are coming up right now, but in my Yoga Nidra I was talking that I was noticing that we're coming to the end of cycles. Like I've seen like 9, 19, 29, this one's 39, this variance, but it's like we don't quite walk in the frequency that we want to walk in. And we're at an opportune time now where we can choose where we want to focus our light, focus your attention. This relationship with ourselves, this new moon, is an opportunity for you to take a time to be quiet and still, to go outside, ponder upon the stars, and see it as what it is that you need in yourself. Venus was pushing up against this 5D planet, this Plutonian planet that helps you see your gift, that realizes you can realize your gift, where it is, what it's showing up for you, what is it bringing, what is it highlighting for you. And it's a part of the mind that hasn't been reached yet. And so this astrology is helping us reach that part of ourselves. And we're so separate from our higher self. We're so separate from what we think that the universe really is. We make up all these stories about what we think the universe is. And in fact, let us just allow the universe to teach us. And I'm going to show you some cards from the Yoga Nidra. So I pulled 2 cards before the Yoga Nidra and then one afterwards. And the one that I pulled afterwards and one before, they actually kind of match. So it's kind of strange. But I'm going to show you this card, which is like, it looks like a galaxy. Looks like a wondrous place to be. There's a similarity, like even though this is dark, there's similarity of the colors here too. And there's earth here. There's this birthing. And I've been working with this idea about, the star seeds. But I'm going to say it from this perspective, not from a new age perspective, from a really ancient medicine, spiritual perspective. And it says light beings here too. And so I keep feeling, and since the beginning of this time that we've been here indoors together, and we've been sharing in this space, I've been feeling the angelic beings come in. But sometimes when you think about angels, we may think of angels with wings. But I think, and then people talk about aliens, I don't think there's a separation between aliens and angels. And this is maybe the variance too here, is what we separate things a little bit too much inside of ourselves. There's also this piece here, like I talk about separation, I'm just feeling this here. This like orb, this is Earth, this is this galaxy that feels like it's approaching us, it's bringing something new that's coming in for us. And there's other stories that I'm going to share with you too, like as we go along this way. This color is so important, this pinks and this blues, this high frequency, heart-loving, mind-expanding, exploring type of energy too. I think we're also on this ascension journey, but it's like this far-reaching ascension journey. Like Earth is actually moving almost like, if you want to say a starship moving, like our whole solar system is this greatest starship, and our galaxy itself is a starship moving through. In fact, we can talk about black holes another time. And that's also coming up to about what we've been attracted to, what's happening with this great entity that's the scientists are realizing that we're a part of. When I look at the entity, I call it an entity. It feels like we're part of this greater cosmos, cosmism. I don't know if that makes sense. So I'm going to show you other cards. So this says variance, and it's like, feels more like we're coming to this place of like connecting with our higher self. Feels like there's assistance coming from these outer realms. They're coming to assist us as we're on the path. Before I did the Yoga Nidra, I pulled this card out. It says awakening on it, and it has a 2 on here, and it feels, and it's like the whole head is like almost like turned to light, and there's this shape here that's this like cross, if you will, and the cards actually, like these cards are read this way, this card's read this way, if you will. I guess you could read it anyway, but it has this is the directionality. It would be read this way, so this is the shape it's making. It says awakening. It's like coming into this new part of myself. When we go through tough times in life, they call it a great awakening. And the card that I pulled straight after Yoga Nidra has the same similar pattern as the one that I pulled before. And this one is about, it has the Star of David in it. And this repetitive theme about coming back into your heart. And there's a heart in the center too. And the Yoga Nidra was about this light, like in the crystal that was shining, that was a message. And it feels like for us to really step into the place of our beingness, our totality, our cosmic self, which I feel this is like we're rising into this part of our being that's like, our journey is through the cosmos. I think we're reaching this phase. We have this potentiality to reach this phase where there's these massive like wings. It's pulling us forward. And in fact, this card's read this way, but it has also like a similar pattern. If you can see the stars in the center of this is so miraculous. Like sometimes it's just like, I don't know, it's building something, that we've been built into something, like this idea about us really connecting to where we've come from, the star seeds inside of our cells in our DNA. So hopefully that starts to make some sense. I'm sure I'll be back with some more information. Look out for some of my podcasts that I'm sharing with you. There's some Yoga Nidras, as well as I'm sharing the readings from the Yoga Nidras at the end. So it's a little bit of a channeling as well. So look out for those podcasts too, and some YouTube videos as well. And you can always find me at belindapearl.com. There we go, don't say it too quickly, that's Mercury retrograding. belindapearl.com. And so I look forward to seeing you all again soon. From my heart to yours, may you always be blessed. Namaste.